We know Central Texas is filled with talented musicians. Later this month, Rogue Music will offer a new platform where those artists can share their music. Joining us now to talk about Central Sounds are hosts and producers Sheridan Vasquez next to me and Brazos Tankersley. I love both of your names so much.
Really?
Yes, they're fantastic names, especially if you are performers, which you are. We want to get into that a little bit more and talking about your musical background. So we know that you say music has always been in your face, right? Is that kind of what?
Yeah.
How so? What's that all about?
So I've had, I say this, but I've had like a lot of stepdads, and like each of them has been into music. So like the first like big portion of like my formative years, like my stepdad was a drummer, and so I would always go out to gigs. And now my stepdad he plays guitar, and so I always had to like tag along with gigs with him because like I was too young to stay home by myself. So I always just had to tag along and be a roadie. So
And you were in that universe.
Yeah.
And now you play
bass and then guitar too.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. And what about you? How did you get pulled into this world?
I started playing percussion or drums in like 3rd or 4th grade.
Okay.
And then I joined the band at our intermediate school. I've just been in music ever since. And I was in the marching band drumline in high school.
And yeah, you're both part of a band at MCC. What's that called?
Well,
It's
I
not
don't know if there's
name.
if there's a band.
MCC's rock band.
Yeah.
essentially. Okay, like you were saying earlier. Good. So Central Sounds. Describe what that show is all about, if you can.
So I kind of think of it as like a tiny desk type of deal, but we're just doing it at an antique store instead of like a record store. It kind of came around because well, I've always wanted to do something like that in Waco. I thought that would be super cool. And like I reached out to the record stores like Spin Connection and Vintage Mio, and they were just kind of like up in the air about it. So it like didn't happen for a long time. But then I asked Central Goods and they were like, yeah, whatever.
It adds so much depth and intricacy to have it in a place like that. It's such a unique place to do. I bet the acoustics are kind of wild in there, yeah? For
Yeah,
like that.
I mean,
a lot of times things to absorb the sound.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you play clips up there, like they're just kind of crammed. Like the performers are crammed in the back of like Central Goods, and there's all this stuff around them. They're trying to be so careful to not knock stuff over and break things.
We've got some video here. This is such it makes it fun to watch. So you have video elements along with the sound elements, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of play with both. So local artists, what do you hope that they can take away from this experience when they join you? What do you want them to walk away with after they participate in your show?
Honestly, just like a fun experience, you know, being able to, I guess, kind of, I don't want to say like in a professional setting because I don't think I'm a professional at it, but you know, be filmed and like be posted on something kind of, I don't want to say exposure because I feel like that sounds kind of weird. I don't know.
But if people are listening and they've never heard before, you know, this does give a lot of people a chance to listen to a band they may have never experienced before. So
Yeah,
maybe
definitely.
sharing, you know, a little bit more, like sharing through the community, you know, these kinds of folks. Who have you had on so far, or is it just kind of getting ramped up? Or are you in the stages?
We're kind of in the stages of getting it started. We've had one band so far. It was kind of a test run, that first one, and it just ended up looking good. So, but it was Keep the Kids, and they're a local kind of pop punk band. I think they're really cool.
And what do you hope that, you know, when listeners kind of tune into this, you know, they put on your pod, what do you want them to draw from this? Because is it just the music, or is it music and interview? Like, what's the format that you kind of do?
So we're just doing music for Central Sounds. I mean, I have my own podcast, Sheridan Soundcheck Sessions, for just interviews. But I hope, you know, people who watch and listen, they can kind of see how many really cool bands and artists are here, like in our area. Because I feel like a lot of them are just kind of waiting to be discovered.
Do you often find that you're able to have them, or do you hope to have them on Central Sounds and then also follow up with your other shows?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you can basically, they're kind of companion shows then, where you can hear and then learn more about them and what they're all about on the other shows.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And what about you, as far as your involvement in all of this? What have you been doing as far as creating this, making it happen?
I was helping set up, and I did the sound, ran the sound, and did all the mic placements and stuff.
And
What did you want to be?
Oh yeah, I did edit it.
And you edited too.
Yes.
Why did you want to be a part of something like this?
Well, I've always wanted to do like stuff with music, like for work, and so this was just like the perfect opportunity. And they asked me if I wanted to do it, and I was like, yeah, sure.
Rogue Media seems to really be great about providing resources and also cultivating skills. Tell us about your experience working with Rogue on this project.
So it was like I started working there in January, and I was helping out with music stuff and some sports stuff too. And then, yeah, I just helped out with this.
And what skills have you picked up as you?
Like I'm doing audio engineering at MCC, and so that's helped me with my skills over there, and like with the mics and stuff.
You got applying it in a professional setting too. And,
Yes.
and so for your role specifically, are you kind of more of a producer? Is that kind of a role for you, kind of bringing them in, making
Yeah.
sure, and kind of lining up the way it looks and sounds?
Oh yeah, like I love organizing things.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like when I first started at Rogue, I thought I was gonna be, I don't know, I thought my position was gonna be different, but I've done so many like little punk shows and stuff like that around here, and I realized that like event organizing is like one of my favorite things to do. So it just makes me really happy when I put things together and they work. So
You're creating an experience for someone.
Yeah.
That's really fun. You get to inject a lot of yourself into that too.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I love that you're doing that. As far as guests, we always ask this question for folks that do podcasts. Who is your, if you could pick one or two, dream guest? Because it's your chance to put it out there into the world. It can be anyone. Anybody, who would you love to have on your show?
Do you wanna go
good.
first?
You can go first.
me? Why? Okay.
Think about it.
Well, I'm super into like metal and stuff like that. So I would say maybe like this band called Kublai Khan, or oh man, hold on, you go. I have to think of another
so
one.
Kublai Khan is this one.
I was gonna say Tsunami. They're a hardcore
Tsunami.
band.
Yeah.
I know about this one.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm aware.
Really?
What about Billie Eilish? Is that someone that
Yeah,
you like?
I like her. She's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. You can just speak it into existence. So we've got Kublai Khan, Tsunami, and Billie Eilish. If you
Sure,
are listening,
yeah.
if you ever hear this, please come on to this show.
Yeah.
Central Sounds, and the other one, Sheridan. What's it called?
Sheridan Soundcheck
Sheridan
Sessions.
Soundcheck Sessions. As far as other musicians, if they're kind of watching this, or maybe they have a loved one who's watching this and wants to kind of plug them in, how could they speak with you about getting onto this show and displaying what they have to offer, showcasing it? I
would say just send me an email. It's sheridan@roguemedianetwork.com. I think my name's up there, but if you don't know how to spell it, it's SHERIDAN @roguemedianetwork.com.
Yeah, and there's a lot of information if you scan the QR code right there on your screen to find out more about what you all are doing. What has been the most fun part about this whole process? It's a lot of learning, especially if you're kind of brand new to it, but what's been the most fun aspect of having this podcast and kind of putting it out there?
Honestly, just watching them play
Yeah,
while we're filming it.
I love live music and watching people play music. It's a lot of fun to see how they work together and groove together.
Yeah.
Would you like to eventually see a little bit of an audience gather? I mean, there's not a ton of room in the location
Yeah.
where you are, but eventually I think you'd like to maybe either in that venue or a different one have a little intimate audience.
Oh
kind of
yeah,
setting.
that I was kind of thinking about that. I feel like it would have to be kind of exclusive because it's such a small space, but have a couple of people in there and have like a live audience and you can hear them clapping in the background.
It makes it even more special when it's a little intimate kind of experience
Yeah.
too. As far as when people can expect to hear your podcast, when does it drop generally? What's your plan to have it kind of put out there on a regular basis? Is it once a week, once a month, what day?
I hope maybe bi-weekly, I think. Like the way that we planned this is that we're gonna have like 3 bands film in one day just so it's like easier on everybody, and also Central Goods because they're still like an open business.
Right.
So we're hoping maybe every 2 weeks. I actually haven't hammered that out just yet because like I don't know, we just made the first one.
And the
so
premiere date's still TBA. The premiere date's still to be
I
announced.
think it should be in the April. I
Into
think that's
April.
what
yeah,
they said.
this month sometime.
Look for it sometime in April. Okay, listen, thank you both. I'm so excited for this project. It's going to be amazing. Expose a lot of people to some great sounds and get some, more voices out there. Again, this is the first episode of Central Sounds premiering later this month. You can learn more about the show by scanning the QR code on your screen. And thanks again to our guests, Sheridan and Brazos. We'll be right back.